What up, guys? On today's episode of Greater China Tech, we're going to be talking a little bit about video sharing platforms. And one of the first platforms we're going to be talking about today is a platform here in China, which is called Bilibili. And it's a little bit like YouTube, but basically you have a platform that's kind of devoted for creators sharing their original content online. And what we have here is actually what on Bilibili is called a danmu, or a bullet title. And basically what a bullet title is something that's overlaid on top of a video, which is like a live commentary provided by the viewers about what's happening in that video. So oftentimes on Bilibili, you'll see a comment that's related to something in the video. For instance, if someone's talking about my fashion choices, they might say something like, "Nice t-shirt, bro." So Bilibili is a video sharing platform that's currently set to raise about $2 billion in their secondary listing that's about to happen in Hong Kong, according to certain reports that have been posted online. But besides growth on the platform, it's interesting to think about how much people are actually using Bilibili. So on the platform, people are watching approximately 81 minutes per day of content, and they're watching approximately 1.3 billion videos per day. So really astronomical growth and stickiness of the user base on the platform. So when Bilibili was first created, it was actually more of a hub for people who were interested in these kind of three key areas, which were anime, comics, and games. But as the company has grown over the past 10 years, they've really broadened their focus beyond this ACG area into being a place where people from many different backgrounds and subcultures can come together and share about all their sort of disparate hobbies, interests, and activities. So one other interesting aspect about Bilibili is about the company's corporate holding structure. And in China, there aren't many truly massive internet giants, but two of the biggest internet companies in China are Tencent and Alibaba. Alibaba and Tencent, these two companies, again, are traditionally competitors, so it's pretty unusual for them both to have a share or be invested in the same business. But Bilibili managed to capture investment from both of these companies. So they've got a 12.6 share of investment, which comes from Alibaba, and a 6.8 share from Tencent. Another key point to mention is despite the diversity of the types of people on the platform, 80% of the users on Bilibili are less than 24 years old. So for me at 32, I'm actually a little bit of a dinosaur when it comes to the age of people posting on the platform. So I was born in Mountain View, California, which is actually the home of Google, which is the parent company of YouTube, which is kind of the premier destination, particularly for UGC content in the West. And today I want to do a little comparison between YouTube and Bilibili, which are two sites that are often compared when it comes to these kind of leading sources of video content. So when YouTube began, it, unlike Bilibili, didn't have this original focus on a specific vertical like ACG. YouTube was originally just a place for all different kinds of content creators to get together and share their creations. Also, YouTube decided to share profits from ad sales with individual creators at a very early stage in the company's development. When it comes to YouTube, it's also important to remember that the way that content is pushed out to individual users is based primarily on the operation of computer algorithms. So according to their own press releases and other materials, algorithms are determining the content that's getting put in front of specific users with minimal interference from actual human editors who are on the platform. So YouTube's system is set up so that there's a vibrant competition between creators for the eyeballs of viewers. The flip side of this is that it's quite competitive and that only the fittest, best channels actually can survive. This also means that YouTube doesn't really care about creating a certain kind of culture or community on the platform. It's really just driven by the algorithm and the types of content that people seem to be clicking on or watching. But how does it work on Bilibili? So when it comes to Bilibili's recommendation system, it's actually a combination of AI recommendations, but also human editors who are actually combing through and selecting individual videos and curating an experience for viewers. So you can look at different topic areas and actually realize that beyond the AI recommendations, there's human editors who are selecting individual pieces of content that are then getting pushed out and recommended to viewers across the platform. So when it comes to AI recommendations on Bilibili, the key word is about engagement. Again, let's remember their focus is about high quality content. So it's not just about view count, but really thinking about whether or not people are engaging with the content. And this engagement can play out in a few different ways. It could be about the bullet titles we mentioned before. It could also be about comments that are placed below each video in the scrolling kind of newsfeed-esque format. Or you could think about things like shares, where a person decides to take a video and share it out either on Bilibili or to their other social media platforms. An additional important aspect of Bilibili is that when you watch videos on the platform, you're going to notice quite quickly that there aren't intrusive ads. So one of the most frustrating aspects of YouTube is that if you haven't purchased a premium subscription, you're getting barraged with ads. And this would be at the beginning of your video that you click into a video, you'd see a pre-roll ad. Often for YouTube videos that are longer than 8 minutes, you could see an ad or even multiple ads that are placed throughout the video. However, on Bilibili, you don't have these ads that are intrusively placed into each piece of video content. So from the perspective of viewers, you're getting a much more smooth and seamless experience because you're not constantly being barraged by messages from advertisers. Now, there is a downside to this because content creators can derive a lot of their revenue from the placement of these ads. And when it comes to monetization on YouTube, the most sort of salient aspect to mention is that YouTube is directly sharing a large portion of the benefits of these ad sales directly with the creators themselves. So on YouTube, the usual ratio is 55% of revenue for an individual ad sale will go to the creator and 45% will go back to YouTube, the platform itself. So again, YouTube's done a lot to build up this community by sharing so much of the profit from ad sales directly to the creators. However, on Bilibili, you don't have these ads that are intrusively placed into each piece of video content. So the first thing to remember is that Bilibili has multiple sources of revenue beyond just their video business. So actually, this has decreased over the years, but a major portion of Bilibili's revenues come from gaming and gaming distribution. Besides gaming, Bilibili also has a vibrant business in live streaming. During the course of their live broadcast, people who are watching can purchase virtual gifts. And then the person who's doing the live streaming and collecting these gifts can later exchange those gifts for actual currency or money that gets deposited in their bank account. Of course, Bilibili would also get a portion of these virtual gifts. At a platform level, Bilibili, besides gaming and live streaming, can also benefit from 3 key areas, which are memberships, advertising, and e-commerce. But how do content creators on Bilibili make money without these intrusive ads like the ones you'd see on YouTube? So Bilibili does have something called 创作激励, which is a platform basically like a creator incentive that can share some of the profits from ad sales with the creators of videos themselves. But basically, it's important to know that the benefit to the creator is only a fraction of the same amount of money that they would get from ad sales on YouTube. Therefore, the primary driver of monetization for creators on Bilibili is actually about creating deals for themselves directly with brands. So when a creator starts to get a following on Bilibili, basically that's the point at which brands might start reaching out to them. And there's no exact benchmarks for this, but having conversations with a few folks in the influencer space, here's some conclusions I've found about the rough metrics for roughly how many followers you have and how much you can charge for doing a piece of advertised content on Bilibili. So a creator on Bilibili who has around 100,000 followers could charge somewhere between 500 and 1,000 US dollars for one piece of advertised content. A creator with 500,000 followers seemingly could charge somewhere between $2,000 and $3,500 dollars for one piece of advertised content. And according to the conversations we've had, again, there's no actual industry reporting about this, it seems like a creator with over 1 million followers could usually charge between $10,000 and $30,000 for one advertisement that's placed on their channel. But it's important to note that 2 creators with the exact same amount of followers might actually attract totally different prices from advertisers depending on the type of content they create. The reason for this is it's hard to know what your channel is worth to brands, so it's almost like a black box. The other thing that can influence these deals with brands is about the industry or category that you're in. So a person who's in the lifestyle sector that isn't touching on specific products might have a harder time selling advertisements than someone, for instance, like a car reviewer or tech reviewer who could have a direct impact on the purchasing decisions of consumers who are considering purchasing a certain product. So taking a step back then, what is the primary differentiator, or what could YouTube potentially learn from Bilibili? Again, for myself, having now spent a lot more time on the platform, I think the primary driver of why Bilibili has been so successful is about this vibrant community that they've been able to build. So one key articulation of this community approach is the way that these bullet titles work. When you watch a video with bullet titles, one thing that I'm starting to notice is it's actually a lot more fun than it would be to watch a similar piece of content on YouTube. Because the contents are overlaid atop the video itself, it feels like a more social and participatory experience, like watching a video with your friends. So suddenly what might feel like a very solitary experience of watching a piece of content becomes this very social, fun, community-oriented thing where every time something happens in the video, you have all these people making jokes, comments, clever little observations throughout the entire film. And beyond the bullet titles, the other thing you notice on Bilibili is just this appreciation of high quality content. So again, here at Greater China Tech, we've really tried to focus and deep dive into specific topic areas. And throughout the comments that we're noticing from people on the channel, they seem to really appreciate the fact that we're putting in so much effort to uncover specific topics and to really spend the time and effort to investigate topics and explore the real implications of technology when it comes to how they affect human lives. Bilibili also spends a lot of time developing the community offline, so they're famously known for these big offline events where they collect creators and people who are part of this ACG community and bring them together and allow them an opportunity to socialize in real life. And finally, when it comes to community, by removing ads from the direct experience of using the product, they've managed to find a way to create a service that feels a lot more personal and a lot less corporate. So again, through all these different things together, they've managed to build a platform that feels a lot more human and social, as opposed to one that's just a platform for pushing out branded and advertising messages. So where does Bilibili plan to take the company after the IPO and into the future? So again, according to some reports online, it seems like one of the things that Bilibili is planning to do is to really double down and invest in content and find ways to support creators who want to create even higher quality content on the platform. And one key aspect of this is about PUGC, which stands for Professionally User-Generated Content. So this is somewhere between the kind of Netflix and Hulu model where it's about content that's produced by studios or very high-end companies and individual creator content that's just made by one person. Somewhere in the middle, it's opening up this space for professional channels that focus on a specific topic area that want to grow their user base and do so at a little bit higher level than content creators who are just shooting themselves with a smartphone. Another key growth area for Bilibili has been about the tech and knowledge vertical. And it seems like one thing that Bilibili may aim to do is make more investments in this space to support creators who are creating content about tech. So if Bilibili is interested in supporting, for instance, a channel called Greater China Tech, which focuses on tech innovation in China, feel free to get in touch. I think you guys can probably find a way to contact us. Finally, Bilibili is also investing heavily in paid content. So there's been certain investments made in areas like anime, where Bilibili is again bringing even higher quality IP content onto the platform that's customized for that original ACG base of users that originally made the platform so successful. So we hope you guys enjoyed this sort of summary of the key differences between Bilibili and YouTube and... Oh, come on guys, this isn't very nice. And if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a bullet title, maybe not this one, or a comment. We really like hearing from you guys. Again, this is Jim from Greater China Tech. Thank you for watching.